Welcome to another episode of the Women of Ouija. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. We've got our hot beverages in a Ouija cup, and we are ready to have a little Ouija chat with you. So,
Absolutely.
Hey Karen, how have you been?
I've been great, Marla. Doing well. How about you?
Good. It's been nice and chilly here in Los Angeles, and I love it. And I am wearing, you guys, I'm wearing something very special. You can see this. Guess who that is, you guys? Pippi Longstocking.
Do you guys know Pippi Longstocking?
Remember Pippi Longstocking? My friend Peter, who is Swedish and lives in Sweden, and Pippi's Swedish, if you didn't know, he sent me this Pippi Longstocking cap from Sweden. And you know what I love about Pippi is Pippi was so self-reliant. Since she didn't have any parents, like her father was like, some pirate off on an island or something. She just had her and her little monkey and her horse. And she was so tuned into herself. She loved herself so much. She had so much confidence. And I think Pippi was a real spiritual pioneer.
I think so, too, from the 60s and 70s. My gosh, she was always on an adventure and always had something that came up, but she knew how to overcome it, like you said. She knew how to be positive through it. And she was just really eclectic and creative.
She was fearless, really, and she listened to her gut, and that's what kind of a segue into our topic today is how to know when you're on the board, how do you know it's spirit or guides or angels who are talking to you and communicating, or yourself, just your imagination? So Karen's going to fill us in on that.
Yeah, this is a great question that came to me on the YouTube channel, and thank you for the question. I think these are fabulous questions. Yeah. Keep bringing them, please. Yeah, so talking to spirits, are you talking to spirit? Are you talking to yourself? Is it EDM motor? Is it your higher self? Okay. I think the important thing here is what is the level or type of message you're receiving? How does this message leave you feeling? Is this message uplifting? Does this message make you feel empowered? Or does this message leave you feeling depressed, down, upset, nebulous, not so good? So you have to look at that, and that's going to tell you what kind of energy you're communicating with. Now, there is something called the EDM motor effect, and basically that means that your brain can manage and manipulate, without your conscious mind being aware of it, subconsciously, the fine motor muscle movements in your hands, so possibly like a planchette. Here's my little coffin planchette.
Love that.
Rick, I love this. You know that. Rick made it. Rick Shrek. Okay, so my hands are on here, and is this me pushing in? Because I'm doing it by myself, let's say. Or is this the spirits coming through? Well, listen, you're going to start to know because you're going to practice. And practice is what's going to tell you in the very beginning. If you're not sure when you first start with this tool, in the beginning, you're going to go, it's not moving. What is this? Okay, there's movement. And it might be jerky at first, and you're going to say, is that me, or what is this? And so as it starts to flow, and I ask people this question all the time that are new to using this tool, I say, what does that sensation feel like in your fingers that are on the planchette? I use one finger now, I just go like this. But my partner has usually 3 or 4 on there. And what does that feel like? And if you feel like, this is what I hear, everybody's told me this, if you feel a pull, like it's pulling you along like that, as opposed to you pushing it and being on top of it, you're going to know that it's some other influence moving it. Now, positive, negative, that's not for me to judge. We do a lot of videos on how to get the right kind of spirits to come through. We just really want to focus on how do you know if it's you pushing it or them. When it's them, meaning the spirits, the ethereal beings, the guides, the deceased loved ones, the animals, etc., the ETs, there's a pulling, and you're going to feel behind it. And either way, you're by yourself or with a partner, and it's a subtle movement. It's very subtle, and it's going to be like maybe like that at first, a little jerky, until you begin to work with it enough. When you work with it enough and the connection's made, your energy's here, their energy comes here, it becomes this flowing thing. Yet, when different energies come through, when different guides or spirit beings come through, they come through, which I call spirit signatures, and they come through with different types of movements and motions on the planchette, where you're also going to know it's not you because they change the way they feel. So I'll get my Pyrex dish out, which you can use as a planchette, guys. My hands are on, it's moving across the board. And I have one spirit that comes in, it's my angel. She goes, dut, dut, dut. She hits the letters, A, D, Q, P. And then the sun comes in and goes, Da, 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 da. He's a little bit larger, but he's more grounded. And the moon comes through, and she goes like this and dances around. And it just my different guides, they come through differently. And I know it's not me because of the way they move. I also know it's not me because I've learned over the years to separate myself from the movement. In fact, I'm multitasking. Another way to help yourself get away from thinking you're moving it and to actually not let yourself move it is I put by yourself or with a partner. I have my one hand, one finger now, but I would start the hand on your planchette like this. And then my other hand is like this over here with a pen, and it's writing. And I'm saying the letters. So now I'm doing this thing. I'm dissociating from this movement. I'm not thinking. I'm just going A, P, U, D, R, S, P, stop, or whatever it does. And I'm just writing that out, and I'm following it. And that allows me to, I purposely do it this way, because when I was younger, I was like, got to make sure this is not me. And so I learned a way to separate from it by writing with one hand, calling out the letters, staying focused on the letters, and one hand moves. So you're multitasking, and it allows you to step out, and away from what's coming through. And a lot of times I get messages, and I purposely do this, and I highly recommend in the beginning, don't guess the words. Let them learn to spell, because as they learn to spell, you learn to work this tool better, and they learn to use the energy better. And then you're not guessing. So I let all the letters spell. You'll see me do this in all my videos I do that are online, where I'm doing live sessions. I let the words spell out, and then allows me to stand back and let them spell. Now, the other way you know it's not you is, let's say you get some words you don't even know, don't even think you know. Maybe your subconscious knows them, but I find that I have to go look some of these words up. I consider myself a pretty intelligent person, but I got to tell you, I have to look some of these words up they're starting to use when they come through, and I'm like, I haven't heard, like the word ire. Ire, that means angry, but that's an old English word. I wouldn't use the word ired. I would say I'm damn angry. Yeah.
But they use the word ire or ired. I was like, what? So it's those things like that start coming now from this tool to you, yet you know it's not of you. So again, it's a very subtle feeling you get through the planchette, very subtle feelings you get within yourself, and the hardest thing in the beginning is to trust it and to separate. Now, let's just say you feel like it is yourself coming through. Well, I want to say this to you. I did a experiment for 4 years, from 89 through 93, and the experiment was speaking only to my higher self, or the other higher selves that were in the room, meaning the people that were there. We all talked to our higher selves, and we just let those come through. In a way, that is talking to myself. But the energy still came through from out here, whoosh, through here. It still came through like a spirit guide. Because in fact, your higher self is that part of you that's connected back to source, connected to all that is. So it does feel very separate from your ego lower self that's here in the physical realm. So yeah, I did that for a while, and I was able to separate that out. When I hear my higher self voice in my head, it's very different than my own monkey mindless chatter. So it's a process. It takes time. It's really hard to pinpoint it. But if you can just start feeling the energies on that planchette and how it moves, and separate yourself from it, maybe multitasking as I suggest, you too sure will learn what is you, what is of you, and what is not of you. What do you think, Marla? Yeah, exactly. I was on this morning, and I was talking to Mirth because we had done a Valentine's video, and I wanted to channel a message, and she channeled it. I'd get on there and say, okay, you want to channel this morning? Okay, let's do it. And then I could put my hands on the keyboard on my computer and type it out. But then I was chatting with her, and I said, I was asking about some things, anything I need to know right now. And then I said, hey, is my dad around? And the planchette just went yes to yes. I mean, it whoosh.
You felt the energy of what your father feels like. You've spoken with him before.
Yeah. And I said, is Dad here? Woo, and I was like, wow. And I didn't do that. I was waiting for the yes or no, and it just went to yes.
It pulled
me, and then it went all around. And then sometimes when I'm working with Linda Salvin, we'll be doing it, and we'll ask a question, and really just yank. Sometimes they'll go off the side of the board.
We're a spirit guide. We talk with
that we talk to. We're not supposed to say who it is, but it's
we won't say who. We don't say who it is. This energy does move. Really, his energy. It's very different than any other energies.
And I will say, when I was trying to learn how to do this on my own, because my friend Julie and I started this voyage, I think it was like over 3 years ago we started, and I wrote, The Buddha Made Me Do It, A Field Guide to Enlightenment. I wrote about the whole journey and how I got into this. And she brought over a talking board, and we sat there and we got messages, and I didn't expect anything to happen. I didn't expect it to move, and it moved, because the things it said was, and who, things that Julie didn't know, or so it was really amazing. So that was a lot of fun. We got some really profound messages and things that, like it said, NYC SOON, New York City soon, and I was going to a conference in New York in a couple of months, and so then when I started to try to do it alone, so I couldn't, it wouldn't move, right? I sat there for about 8 months, and I'd sit there every night for about 10 or 15 minutes, couldn't do more because it was hurting my back, and I was like, oh, this, and it would just sit there stagnant, nothing. When it started to move, it was started, and it, so the difference was profound, and I wasn't going to all of a sudden start moving it myself. It doesn't work that way. You can't
No.
just move it.
Yeah, you don't augment it. You don't push it.
No.
You're going to want to in the beginning because you go, I want it to move.
Yeah,
but you
'cause you want it to move.
use that like for 9 months like
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So I was for months. So all of a sudden
Yeah.
it started because my energy, because we talk about it this in other videos. The reason is my energy wasn't high enough, the vibration, and I started getting attuned to Reiki and some other energetic attunements. And I think that's what really helped me, along with some other things. And so it's definitely not you. So you don't even have to worry about that, because unless you're like deranged and you're just moving it just like, oh, I'm doing it.
Just for fun. I don't know why.
I'm just
Because
gonna
that
move
defeats
it.
the whole purpose of
If
using
you
the
feel
spirit
it
tool.
pulling, it's not you.
Well, yeah, it's an important thing to talk about. So Marla worked. She started with somebody for a little bit, and then really went off the board. She really went away from a partnership and went and do it herself. That's where she mostly does it.
And the reason is because I didn't have anybody to do it with. I couldn't call
Correct.
Julie to come over all the time. She's busy, so that's why I don't have anybody.
I've just been very fortunate for many years to have partners that always wanted to do it with me. So I've had many, many partners. And for 39 years, I just used it with a partner. And then I said, why am I not using this by myself? There's no bad thing that's going to happen to you. I've never believed that. It never has happened to me. And so I just in the last, oh gosh, what's it been now? 5 years. I've been using it by myself, and it was a new process. It was like using training wheels again. I had to get used to the feeling because I knew what it feels like with a partner, didn't know what it felt like alone. And it's a little different. It's a transition. So if you really want to know what this feels like, if you can, and I know a lot of you don't have partners to work with, I fully get it. People aren't available. You don't want to share this with everybody in the world. I know it's kind of a weird stigma still. People think you're crazy. That's okay. I get it. That's why I didn't share too much of this. I just had one or two people I do it with. So if you could get a partner, guys, if you can get a partner and you know that you trust this person, you know they're not going to push it, you're not going to push it, have that pact, and then work with raising the energy. And then sit there for how many sessions it takes, how many hours it takes. It could be several sessions. It could be 8 sessions. It could be 2 months. It could be a week. It could be right away. For me, it worked right away. So it just depends. Everybody's different. So when it starts to work and you feel like the partner, you're going to get that sensation I talked about of the pulling. You both will get it. Just go with it. Don't judge it. Don't condemn it. Don't get excited. Just try to stay neutral. Try to remove yourself from it and let it go. Let it go and just get used to feeling that feeling. It's kind of like when you first learned to ride a bike. You either, to balance on 2 wheels, you either had training wheels or maybe you had your parent or your brother, your sister, or mother, somebody helping you, holding it for you. And before you even ask them, either they let go of it, and that happened to me. My dad was pushing me, and I go, you can let go now, you can let go now. And I kept saying that, and I thought he was holding me.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
I think that happened to me too. Yeah.
And I remember looking back and going, wah! He goes, no, just look forward. And I went, wah! It's that kind of sensation, guys, where you start to feel it and don't freak. Don't get too excited and let practice. And then soon it'll become second nature. And then you're going to know what it feels like, and you're going to know that's how you know it's not you. It's external to you.
And it's probably not going to work if you just try it for the first time by yourself.
Yeah.
Most people say, well, it doesn't work. And that's just,
Yeah.
you got to have a partner until you get your energy high enough. Because it's so many people on the Facebook groups and stuff will say, oh, I tried it, nothing works. And that's why. So don't get discouraged if that, I was getting frustrated because I was like, when I connected with my angel and my guides, it was the most exciting thing that had ever happened to me. And I wanted to talk to her more. And so I was asking anybody, hey, will you do this with me? Anybody I could. And then I wanted some answers on things, and I was alone. I was even considering, listen to this, I knew I needed some more energy, and I even tried to put Macy's paw on there. Because I didn't have a partner. My dog Macy, tried to put her paw, and that she wasn't going to sit there for that. So
Bow wow.
bow wow.
Meow.
I needed another hand on there, and so.
Roof, roof. Yeah, what's I gonna say? No, that is hysterical because your dog would have ability to keep moving his hands or his paws around.
I thought maybe she could just spark that extra bit of energy that was needed there.
Exactly. You never know. I mean, it will work. It will work. I do know people say that never worked for them, but I have to say they probably gave up too soon. Mm-hmm. And again, it takes a lot of patience and practice and perseverance. Right, it takes a lot of time. And we talk about this. We did a lot of videos about this, how to get that planchette moving. Mm-hmm. So please, by all means, check that out. There's a lot of videos we talk about.
Yeah, we've got a playlist, a whole playlist with all the videos. We got about 60.
God, I think we have over 55 videos
we
now
do.
Or something.
Yeah.
We're hitting 60-ish, I think, soon. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, have at it, have fun. And again, you guys, keep bringing your questions on. These are great questions. Again, I'm asked these questions a lot, so bring them, put them down here, or you can even email us or reach us on our website and on Facebook and Twitter and all these things. So we love talking about Ouija, and we really hope for you to have a good experience and be successful with this. Because as Marla said, it brought great joy to her to talk to her angel. It's brought me so much great joy and benefit within my life as a person, as a soul, as an energy, as a vibration. It's brought such goodness into my life. I couldn't express it enough. So I use the Ouija board a lot. And I work with the energies outside of the board as well. Because it's really a beautiful thing to have that kind of connection. We want that for you too.
That's right, everybody. So if you like this video, like it, be sure to subscribe and share if anybody that you know out there wants to know more about Ouija, because we want to support everybody, and we really appreciate you watching. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Happy boarding.